in the good old days, victory would have meant either taking territory or taking prisoners of war, or the world should acknowledge that yes, you won. Here we know we won, but yet Pakistan claims it has won. How do you see that?
See, Gaurav, like you very rightly said, in good old days, it was if anyone who has captured more territory of the other party was supposed to be declared a winner. Like in Bangladesh, 1971, when 93,000 prisoners of war surrendered. I'm not talking of capture. Capturing is a military thing. You went down fighting and the enemy captures you, it's okay, like Group Captain Abhinandan. He did not surrender. Whereas in East Pakistan, 93,000 soldiers surrendered, laid down their weapons, saluted, signed a document of surrender. So that is victory. Here in this war, Operation Sindoor war, a very different thing happened. Not a single soldier or a single tank or a single gun crossed the international boundary or the line of control. Now, how do you define victory? In this case, now I will give out certain parameters which will define victory in a war like Operation Sindoor. When we, at our own will, hit 9 targets with precision, and we said we do not want escalation, this was a retaliation to your act of terrorism in Pahalgam. Now, that was victory with strength.
But then
When-
he responded.
When they responded, and when we hit their 11 air bases, their air defense could not do anything, their air force could not do anything, none of our missiles were intercepted by any of their military hardware. Now, that was victory on day 4. When they went running to Saudi Arabia and America, asking for intervening for ceasefire. Now that was victory. When they were told it's a bilateral, you speak directly to India, when their DGMO picks up a phone, calls up our DGMO and begs for a ceasefire. When he begs for a ceasefire, and we being in the position which we were, a position of causing more damage and more harm to Pakistan, militarily and economically, we, being a responsible person, we accepted that request for ceasefire. Now that was victory. Now this is what the victory in this particular circumstances is. Short of just signing a document to say, okay, we request for ceasefire, there are recordings in the DGMO office of all the talks which happen. So victory can be measured in very many ways. And these were hard victories.
So you said Operation Sindoor was a hard victory. If we had continued to hit him longer, let's say 24 hours longer, 48 hours longer, we would have pulverized him even more. Because now when Pakistan in all caps responds, Pakistan dheet hai, badnaam hai, or, there's a terminology that they use, begairat, a country without honor. I can well understand that. Today they're responding to us in all caps, saying we showed restraint, now we will hit 2,000 kilometers deep inside you. So we won, but within 3 months, he's barking again.
Gaurav, whatever they're saying, like Asim Munir said, we will take down half the world with us in a nuclear strike. He said we'll hit their dams. No, and now they're 2,000 kilometers deep. All these weapon systems or military hardware was there with them during Operation Sindoor. So why couldn't they do it that time?
What is
They
your
were
reading?
not allowed to do it that time. We had pressed them so badly, their air defense, the air force, and we know exactly what is stored where, and everything is within our range.
Sir, can you explain that we had pressed them and we'd sorted them out in Operation Sindoor? Can you explain that to our viewers?
See, when we select the 9 terror targets and we hit them with such precision and such weapon systems which penetrate the roof, which penetrate the floor and go and explode in the basement. Now that is the accuracy of intelligence. That is the accuracy of the precision weapon systems we matched with the target. And then when we hit their 11 air bases, one air base where there are 2 airstrips which are crossing like this, and we hit at the center of that intersection, making both the airstrips non-operational. And when we hit their aircrafts in the air at the ranges beyond 300 kilometers, and all their air bases which are facing India are within 300 kilometers from international boundary. When their aerial platform gets hit at 300 kilometers from international boundary, their pilots refused to get airborne. Their air defense was not able to intercept our missiles. And when we hit the 11 air bases, they realized if the war has to continue, there will be unacceptable damage which will be caused to Pakistan's military hardware and economic infrastructure, that Pakistan will not be able to rise from the rubbles. So that is where they begged They begged for ceasefire. And that is when, in spite of being in a position to decimate the enemy once and for all, we showed restraint, we showed strategic restraint, we showed military restraint, we showed democratic restraint
Okay.
because of the responsibility we have as a democratic country, as a nuclear power, as a
And-
1/6 of the world.